No decisions made in executive session. Take a break till he comes in.
I'll get Steve, see if he's ready. You don't realize how many times you hit your thumb every day. Jeez. I was helping my wife with a fishing reel, and I hit that thing right on the end. I needed a diaper. It's like, ah! Oh my God.
Did you get your inventory done? Did you get your inventory done at the airport?
No. Have not.
Some of that stuff up there is in
He's on his way.
road and bridge inventory.
Oh, okay,
Like
yeah.
probably the tractor and the,
I'll let Dave.
and
Dave
probably the
tell me.
mowers, or those are all in.
Yeah,
I'll be right back. I'm reading
We don't want to double our inventory.
yeah, yeah. I'll let Dave know on that. He was gonna get one or two of the other members, and I volunteered, like I told you previously, to help him with that. And he hasn't got back with me, but I know he's flown out to several locations, and he's been in and out of his business and flying trips on business, so. But we never established a deadline, so I'm not pressing that, you know, I think it's a good thing to do, and we will get it done.
Steve,
Morning, Roger.
we're ready.
We're ready for it.
You are ready? Okay, let's go.
Your grapevines cleaning up, or they?
No, they are kind of.
That's a dry thing, is it?
Yeah.
That's your water, I don't know.
I think after that hard freeze last year,
Oh, yeah.
I think like this, you know, we had that really bitter cold a year
Oh,
ago.
Oh,
I think that messed them up.
Huh.
'Cause, I mean, they were producing, and then last year, the first year, they really hadn't done.
I
They didn't do anything
had
last
trouble getting grapevine to grow on my lawn. I've tried a couple of times, the soil conservation.
Last
service.
night.
You know, I don't water
I
them
was
like I
telling
should,
you how
but something
everything's out of
got
kilter.
it for me.
We raise a, have a run a cow year
I
round.
put some, you know.
She raises one calf, maybe. She might lose it, you don't know. And we might get $800 to $1,000 when we sell it after it's 9 months old.
I'm doubtful.
Would you use them though, you just?
And then
We do, yeah, we make.
You make a grapevine and wine or?
Dale
Make
Crabtree
jelly.
Jelly, you make jelly.
has a
or not?
bulldog, it has
Not
6
even
pups, and
wine
they're
or-
worth $2,500 a piece.
Just jelly.
Something's out of kilter. And so he told me, he said that there's a guy up there and right on the Chase County line, north of Winkelman. He said, he's got rid of almost all of his cows and he's raising shrimp.
Shrimp?
Shrimp,
I've heard of that.
using his irrigation water, and
Do you have to wait?
he got a hell of a business.
Well,
I said those shrimp have to be fed every 3 hours.
Okay, all right, thanks.
24 hours a day. Big buck.
how about
I
that?
bet so.
Steve,
Got rid of half of his cows or something like that.
are you ready?
But I mean, you know, like
No labor.
fresh seafood, that's insane.
They have to shrimp now. They have to have salt water.
I don't know.
No, they're freshwater shrimp.
I don't know. I have no clue. We're
I'd like
landlocked,
to,
Roger.
I'd like to go see it. It's just at the edge of
Oh, yeah.
Dundee County.
Field trip in a minute.
There you go. Economic opportunity for Cheyenne County.
I should take a bob. And gonna go ahead and do the latest on expenses and budget, where we're at on that. Let's get a copy of that. That's for road and bridge, and then I've got, this one for solid waste too.
Is that bandsaw that cut iron?
Yeah, it's for iron. Yeah, anytime we're trying to do a project, it's done with a cutting torch, and some of the things we've tried to do recently have really been advantageous to have. In fact, we're still working on one project, attachment off of one of the excavator buckets, and just to get a little better cut, and it's something that we could use. And that's a decent bandsaw. That's something that's gonna cost probably well over $1,000 to buy something like that new. And
Well, that torch weakens the steel anyway on those, doesn't it?
right, and then, some guys use chop saws, but, it's kind of the same thing, I've heard. They can
That weaken it?
create like a weak spot, or possibly, or I've burned up chop saw before trying to cut too big iron too. I made the mistake of doing that, which I didn't think you could do, but I found out you could.
They don't always cut straight either.
Oh,
Chop saws.
Nice.
no kidding.
So the stuff we sold at that auction was $13.86.
That was for the crane and the attachments. And we still have the cement bucket. The individual that bought the attachments, he wasn't able to fit it on his flatbed trailer. So he just donated it back. Yeah, I was hoping we would have done better on that. That was disappointing. And speaking of the auction items, there are some other items in that yard I would mind trying to move along. We've got mowers that have just been sitting down there. We've been taking some parts off. But Western Auction did mention they've had a number of people inquiring in the last month about used mowers. And we've got one that's ready to go. We could take it up there, but it's not one we've been using for a number of years now, but it didn't take a whole lot to get it back to where it's functional, so we could take it up there. They've been running that model of mower. It's a 6015 Land Pride, and they've been running from anywhere from $6,000 to upwards of $8,000 for which is only probably a third of what a new one's going to cost, but that's still.
Well, if you're not using it,
Yeah, well, that's it, and it haven't been, and we've got.
probably gonna buy a new one if we do.
Right, we've got 5 primary mowers that we've been using, so we're sitting good on mowers at this time. Some of them aged quite a bit, and it wouldn't hurt to phase those out too in the not too distant future, but
Yeah, 'cause it don't make too much sense
Oh,
to
ditches
keep
and
piling that
stuff.
stuff up
no.
if you don't use it.
Catch a culvert.
Act like you've done that before.
Nothing.
Learning curve, right?
I didn't say that.
Okay, I can move on if there's not any other questions on that. Okay. Two requests recently for highway permits. You can hang on to them if you want. Two
Request
requests
for what?
for highway permits
Oh.
for trenching. We've got one from Carmen Schmidt Inc. Out of Great Bend, and it is requesting to run an electrical trenching under or through Road 32, which is 32 and G, and it'd be the southwest corner of this section. It doesn't show it, but there is they've got a tank battery here, and they've just set in a new well approximately about right in here. And they're wanting to go across into this. This was a field road, and I recommend that we grant that to them. Right now, they've got a transformer and all their electricity. I think they did have believe they've also got a pump going here too. And then they've went ahead and just set one in here, and they'd like to get power over to that.
They'll just trench it down in there?
Well, they'll trench across, but it is a field road, and so they should be able to go across there.
No, but I mean afterwards,
Oh.
from here to there.
And then trench it, yes.
Yeah.
And it should be, I believe, well, let's see. Let's see what they. Yeah, they will head north out of the right of way. So it'll just be going across, and then it'll stay in the field, the remaining length to the north.
Yeah, I'm good with it, I don't know about anybody else.
It's an open road though.
It is a road, yes.
It's open, but it's a base road.
It's been a field road, yeah. We did some work on it primarily because they're taking, big rigs in and out of there. But they started their work here before that when it was a field road.
Yeah.
That's why I would recommend that we let them do that.
So, I know we've done this for a million times, but they gotta keep it so deep in the ditches.
Yeah, they'll go a minimum of, all lines will be deeper than 36 inches. And it'll be in 3-inch conduit. And then they plan to backfill and flood pack. So they'll try and get it firmed back up.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Okay.
Yep, I don't know if you need to make a motion on that, or,
Yes.
I make a motion that we approve the trenching, boring,
And road permit number.
and on the permit number 22-02, across 32 and G.
Second.
First and second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Yeah. Do I gotta sign this one?
I believe so. Make sure where it's gonna be. And Scott will have to sign it too, but it looks like you sign right there.
Okay. Guess I could put my glasses on and read.
That's some small print.
It is. Okay.
36 inches is not very deep if you elevate a road. Which I doubt if we ever elevate, but you're gonna pull up more than 36 inches in a ditch. But, like I said, we're not gonna, at least we know it's there, if we do wanna elevate.
Yeah, and like I said, we had already done some work in there, just after they had gone in and started their work. So there shouldn't be much to do.
So it ought to be 36 inches, the lowest point,
Right.
all the way across.
They normally put a sign there too, don't they? Post with saying
doubt it.
something's in there.
Not necessarily,
No.
no. There's places where we have lines going across that I can think of that aren't marked.
Posted.
We know they're there, but,
We have records of it anyway.
right. Okay. Did have another request. It's one's a little closer to home. Viero's requesting to install a fiber optic on the east side of South Lorraine Street, starting from Highway 36 and running to the north to where their tower is there, just on the south side of
Lorraine
our
is
shop
back
yard. Lorraine
by the
is,
yard,
yeah,
okay.
right, the north-south street there. They wanna come off I think, she called it the state line. I imagine that's the state fiber optic line that runs along Highway 36, and then they're gonna do a combination. They propose a combination of trenching and boring on that east side of Lorraine, and then going through, I think, private ground there, where the horses and the
Yeah.
goats and everything are, out to that tower there on that property. They do have a detailed set of plans. I don't know if you guys want to read them. They are going to go to a minimum depth of 48 inches.
Are you okay with this?
Well, yes, I am. Because I don't think they really have a whole lot of other options realistically. To go down a different path and around, they were talking a considerably longer distance to get to the tower.
That's a different situation, if memory serves me correct, because isn't the way that it works on Lorraine, like the west half is city and the east half is county?
Right?
But I don't know that that has the same right-of-ways that the county normally has on a road.
It looks small, given where all the utilities are right now, where the poles are set, and not a lot of room.
They're going down a lot of private property. Oh, they wanna go in our right of way.
In a right of way. And what they propose to do, trench to a minimum of 48 inches and/or bore, which they'll do both. The first 55 feet coming off of 36 is gonna be a trench. And then for the next 200 feet, they intend, and this will all be in 3-inch conduit. And then for the next 200 feet, they will bore, and then they're gonna, through these locations, they're gonna, I think, do what they do, a pothole locate on any of the utilities, and of course, they'll handle all the locates to ensure that they're missing any of the utilities, obviously. And so for that next 200 feet, they'll be boring, and then they have a proposed bore pit to restore to county specifications, and that's where they'll trench for another 150 feet. And then, and it's almost the remaining length will be bored, which is roughly 430 feet. And then they come back up and trench the last 150 feet from there, where they'll go to the east down to the tower, crossing private ground.
I don't see a problem with it. I don't know if anybody else does.
Like I said, they've got their conditions there. You might want to go ahead and look at them, see if there's any questions on
And
it.
did they do title work to ensure that that right-of-way is there?
I didn't see that
Lorraine Street
on
is one
there.
of those things that really concerns me when
'Cause
it
it's-
comes to anything to do with the real estate. Because what happened is that was all owned on the east side of Lorraine by one individual, and then they were gonna put in a subdivision, and then they started deeding off all these little parcels. And so I don't know, for my own peace of mind, I always question, what exactly the grants are in that area regarding the right-of-ways and such.
You want me to check with the assessors?
Yeah, if you would just double check with
Yeah, we can.
Amanda, I think that would be beneficial.
Okay.
Just to make sure, because like I said, I mean, it's a little different up there.
There's a lot of stuff up there too.
Yeah, it's a busy,
Yeah.
and I don't mean from traffic, I mean. came from
Where's Ray?
utilities.
Right, and I understand that, I mean, there's a lot of
And
stuff that's
property.
already existing there, but the one thing I wanna make sure is, do we have that
I saw
authority,
that
or
too.
is
I
that,
didn't-
you know?
Do we actually have a
landowner?
right of way?
Yeah, do we actually
I
have,
don't know.
and also, you know, the,
Maybe he'll know.
So,
Where's
Yeah.
Ray, Kansas?
and Ray, Kansas to
A lot
Bird
of
City.
times they'll use the
St.
same stuff for
Francis
different
lateral.
places. They probably did one over Ray, Colorado.
When I saw that, I didn't catch the Kansas behind.
I
I
didn't
just thought
either.
Ray, Colorado. They're coming from
Ray,
Ray.
Kansas to Bird City, Kansas.
Yeah, they may wanna clean that up.
But then it says down there somewhere St. Francis project.
Make sure they're going to the right place.
how soon are they
Okay.
looking to do this?
Well, they were hoping we'd get it, obviously, approved, but that's not their,
Well, like I said, when it comes to that area, I get very concerned in regards to authority as to what can and cannot be done. And so I think it would be prudent to go ahead and double check with Amanda, even if it means going into the Register of Deeds and making sure that those right-of-way grants are there.
Can we approve it on continues that it's not ours, I mean, that we have the right?
I don't think you wanna do that. I think it's too much leeway to me.
there are some project notes, I don't know if you wanna look at these real quick. I glanced at them earlier, I don't recall seeing anything in there now, but
At least they come to us a lot better, more than the other outfit that was down through there. That wasn't VRO, was it?
Verizon,
Or Verizon?
they still don't have that thing going yet.
They don't.
I think they sold out to somebody else or combined with somebody else, and no, it's not even working yet.
This outfit's been doing a lot of work in St. Francis.
Yeah, that doesn't tell me anything in
Okay.
regards to.
So you want to table that till the next meeting, is that what you want to do?
I think it's wise, just to make sure.
About it to go right down the road, but it's really
That's my
a real ditch or anything.
very little.
Property.
Yeah, and that's why it's leading me to believe this was. Because I just remember something with K&N back in the 60s when they were getting their right-of-ways. And I think they were going to the landowners and not the county. So that's something that's sticking in my head.
Good catch.
Yeah.
There's
I
five
just-
different landowners.
My gas line's a private gas line. Comes off of Midwest. Put in by the Moberly Family Trust. It goes over to Tom Keller's, goes up the road up to, and it ends up at Gary Cooper. We all pay Midwest, but it's a private line. It hooks in over here on 36 to the main pipeline. I don't know
And you-
the location. Byron Moberly may know, because his
It's a
family
private line, he shouldn't.
put that
pay for
line
it.
in. I'd hate to see it cut.
Yeah, well, I mean,
They gotta do locates on that.
right, they have to do all sorts of locates and such, but I just, like I said, when it comes to Lorraine and the authority of what you can and cannot do on that east side, given how that all
transpired.
I think you need to double check and make sure.
So just so I understand, you're saying we may not actually have a right of way, or
It might be smaller,
Very
or
It might be
limited.
smaller.
might not be one. I don't
There may
know.
not be one, it may have to be the landowners, you know.
Okay.
Because a lot of people just assume that if there's a power line or a ditch or something of that nature, that there's some sort of right of way. But up there, it was a different situation, and so that's why I think we need to double check with the records to make sure who has the authority to authorize this trenching. And if the county, you know, has their right of way, great, you know, just being super
Okay.
cautious, but
now would be the time to do it.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
Lawsuit.
Yeah.
Next item, do need to restock our grater blades, and I went ahead and did get bids, from 3 different places, and Wellborn was a low bid. It will take a while to get those in, so I did ask them to get them coming, and that was back in middle of April, and they're still not in yet. So we're down to 1 spare set at this time. And I ordered 2 sets, but they have gone up in price. For these 2 sets of blades that are be coming in, they're gonna be $3,416. The other 2 bids were $37.94 and then $48.15. And these will be coming from Wellborn. And that was the last.
Need a motion on to accept the bid. I move we accept Wellborn's bid for 2 sets of grater blades.
Okay. I second that.
And first and second, to accept the bid from Wellborn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
I'm doing on time there. And, just briefly, we did have interest a while back from, I'm not sure I pronounce his name, Tim Stenberg, who had formerly worked for the county, and he was interested in helping out the landfill when Byron needs to fill in. And he's had, I think, some things he's had to take care of, but he's available now. And we plan on getting him back on to where he could come out there and help
He
on
worked
filling
in
on holidays.
dispatch.
But he has worked for the county, I think, in the past.
Dispatch.
You can use him then?
We could, yeah.
Just part-time,
Yeah, part-time.
how many hours, do you know?
Well,
Is it
it
just fill in?
might be just, at the most, 1
Like-
day a week.
Like Dank is?
Yeah. Yes. The next item would be the truck repairs and the status on this for the Kenworth T800 that we had down at Goodland. I really think maybe we ought to go ahead and get that repaired. From talking to the individual down there at Peterbilt at Goodland, he's pretty confident that he can address the idle, the throttle issue, and then as well as repair the motor. And all that is probably gonna come between $25,000 and $30,000 to do that. But we've been looking and shopping for used trucks, and we've just either didn't get anything accomplished in time, truck's been sold, that kind of thing. And then some of the ones we've looked at had too many issues, we'll just put it that way, for what they're asking for. We would have had to put considerable amount of money into some of these used trucks.
Is he thinking the wiring harness is gonna take care of the idle
He's
issue?
thinking it is.
And is this Brad you're talking to?
Brad Shields,
Okay,
yes.
Okay.
The one issue with this though, of course, with everything right now, and I think Brad put it this way, there is no such thing as parts anymore,
Right.
replacement parts. PACCAR will have to make the wiring harness. So that'll take a little bit of time, so we're still gonna be down a truck for at least several weeks. And we just had another truck last week, the end of last week, started acting up on us and had some codes come up on it and running rough, and did some things with it, cleaned the air filter and all that, but it was still running rough. the end of the day on Friday. Guys are working on that today, trying to figure out what's going on with that. But I still would like to keep looking for trucks. We just had one that we came across this morning. One of the guys brought in a listing out of Hill City. And this is a 2007 Kenworth T800. It's got 217,000 miles. Haven't had a chance to call them about it yet. But they're listing that at $49,895. And that's
not
That's-
very, that's
pardon?
not very many miles
That's
for a
low
truck.
mileage.
low mileage, yeah. I would, at least would like to call them and possibly take a look at that after we have a conversation with them and find out a little bit more about the truck and see if that's something worth pursuing.
Probably been broke down all its life, that's why it doesn't have many hours on it.
Yikes. It's been. Maybe. Could be right.
2007.
Yeah, not that old. But yeah, that'd be one of the things, to find out what they were using it for,
Well,
and get a
it's
little more
probably all
history
right.
on it.
That's what-
But that's where we're at with the truck.
I don't see any problem with looking at it.
Okay.
You know.
But I think we go ahead and try and get our truck fixed at Goodland. I don't know if I would ask for approval on that.
How many hours do you say it has on it?
Oh, shoot. And I don't have my booklet in here with the hours on that.
Oh,
I think it's
sorry.
600,000
600,000
miles on it.
That's what I was thinking, you told us.
On this one or the one?
No, the one you're gonna
Right.
fix,
T800.
which is not a lot of hours either, so maybe it'll,
Oh, hours. Yeah, I'm not sure that has an hour meter.
Or miles, I mean,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
miles. It's
still.
probably in the 600,000 to 700,000 mile category.
but
They're
it's
good for a lot more than that,
over a
right?
million
Typical.
miles.
I think it's a 60 series. They're really good for that.
Like I said,
So do we need a motion
Need a
to go
motion
ahead
on
and have
that.
them fix it?
Yes, that's what you wanna do.
I make a motion that we pursue fixing the T800, seeing if we can fix the idle and the motor issue for 25 to 30K.
Second.
Okay, but first and second to fix the truck. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay.
Okay, and I think that's all I've got at this time.
So you got it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
We could go into executive session for 5 minutes for non-elected personnel.
I make a motion, we have 5 minutes to executive session for non-elected personnel.
First and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, okay.
Executive session, you can comment about